It was a warm, bright, sunny day without a cloud in the sky, and Mr. and Mrs. Grimes were on honeymoon, sunning themselves on a luxury cruise. Little did they know, the Raggy Dolls had come too.
"Isn't it exciting?" said Princess. "I wonder where we're going."
"Land ho!" called back to front. The Raggy Dolls looked and saw a big, steep mountain towering up out of the sea.
"I wonder where that is," said Dotty.
Maybe it's Africa," stammered Hi-Fi. "It certainly feels warm enough."
"Why don't you tune your earphones to the ship's radio?" suggested Lucy. "It might tell us where we are."
"Good thinking," said Dotty. But there was no need. At that very moment, an announcement came over the ship's loudspeakers.
"Attention all passengers and crew. This is the first officer speaking. We shall soon be docking at Gibraltar, our first port of call on this Starline Mediterranean cruise. Passengers who wish to go ashore are reminded to take their passports and that we shall re-embark at 1800 hours. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a very pleasant day."
"Of course," said Dotty. "That big mountain must be the Rock of Gibraltar. And we're going to the Mediterranean," said Lucy.
"What's the Mediterranean?"
demanded Sad Sack.
"It's a sea," said Back to Front.
"You know, the Mediterranean Sea." Sad Sack shook his head.
"But what does Mediterranean mean?"
Dotty tried to explain.
"It comes from the Roman words, medi, meaning in the middle, and terra, meaning land. It literally means in the middle of the land."
But Sad Sack was still puzzled.
"How can you have a sea in the middle of the land?"
Back to Front laughed.
"In the old days, when they named it, they believed the whole world was flat and that all the land surrounded one big sea."
Sad Sack looked out to sea and frowned.
"How can anyone think the world was flat? Anyone can see it's quite hilly. Just look at that big rock for a start."
"Oh, never mind,"
sighed Lucy.
"Let's just think of a way to get ashore."
As soon as the big cruise ship docked, the Raggy Dolls quickly slid down one of the enormous ropes that held the ship securely to the quayside. The dockyard was so busy, nobody noticed them as they climbed into the back of a funny little three-wheeled truck loaded with watermelons. Soon they were on their way out of the docks and up into the town. Up and up splattered the little truck through the winding hilly streets.
"Where are we going?"
said Lucy.
"It looks like the only way is up,"
chuckled Back to Front. Sure enough, the little truck kept going up and up until it reached a small car park area near the top of the rock.
"Look,"
hissed Dotty.
"Monkeys." "Oh, yes," said Princess. "Aren't they adorable?"
There were monkeys all over the place, living wild, doing the sort of things that monkeys do, and being photographed by sightseers and tourists, including Mr. and Mrs. Grimes. The Raggy Dolls heard the driver getting out. "Quick," said Dotty, "we'd better hop off." While Mr. and Mrs. Grimes and the other tourists were busy videoing the monkeys, the Raggy Dolls jumped off the truck and hid behind a cactus. Mrs. Grimes suddenly noticed the little truck and the driver slicing up watermelons to sell to the tourists.
"Look, Ozzy, watermelons. Oh, I'd love a slice. I'm really thirsty."
"Good idea," said Mr. Grimes. "I'd no idea it'd be so hot up here."
"Oh, no, they're coming this way," said Lucy. "Do you think they saw us?"
"No problem," said Back to Front. "We were too quick. Nobody saw us." But he was wrong. One of the biggest monkeys had seen them, and he was becoming more and more curious. Suddenly, he dashed over and snatched Princess. The Raggy Dolls watched helplessly as he carried her off, up towards the top of the rock.
"Oh, no," wailed Lucy. "What are we going to do?"
"There's nothing for it," said Dotty grimly. "We'll have to climb up there and persuade the monkey to let her go." But the Raggy Dolls had to stay crouched behind the cactus. With so many people about, taking photographs and buying watermelon, they would certainly be noticed if they made a move. Meanwhile, the big monkey had carried Princess right to the very top of the rock.
"Oh, please let me go," she wailed. "I'm only a little doll. You can't heat me. I wouldn't taste very nice."
"¿Qué?"
said the monkey, surprised to hear a talking doll.
"¿Puede usted hablar más despacio?"
"I beg your pardon," said Princess.
"Could you speak more slowly?" said the monkey.
At long last, the tourists started to drift away, and the driver had sold all his watermelons. "Come on," said Dotty. "We'd better start climbing."
And we'll watch out for monkeys,
added Hi-Fi. But now that the tourists had gone, so had most of the monkeys. The Raggy Dolls climbed and climbed until at last they could see the big monkey and Princess right at the very top.
Why did he have to take her up so high?
Puffed Sad Sack. "This is taking ages," agreed Back to Front. "If we don't get a move on, we'll miss the boat." "Gosh," said Dotty, "I hadn't thought of that." The Raggy Dolls carried on climbing, and as they got nearer, they could see that Princess was talking to the monkey. "They're just having a chat," protested Sad Sack. "She doesn't seem to be in much danger," agreed Dotty. When at last, hot and exhausted, the Raggy Dolls reached the very top, Princess looked up and saw them. "Oh, there you are," she said casually. She turned to the monkey. "These are my, amigos."
Buenos tardes, said the monkey.
"That means good evening," said Princess, rather pleased with herself. "Well, really," said Dotty crossly. "We thought you were in danger, and we climbed all the way up here to rescue you, and all you've been doing is learning Spanish."
"Qué?"
said the monkey. "Not only that," said Back to Front, "we might miss the boat if we don't hurry back."
Don't look now, stammered Hi-Fi. But I think we have.
Far below, the boat was slowly leaving the harbour. "Oh no," said Lucy. "We're going to be stuck on this rock forever."
¿Qué?
said the monkey, looking at the Raggy Dolls and then at the boat. "Ah, comprendo," he said. Much to their surprise, the monkey scooped up all the Raggy Dolls under his arm and lolloped down towards the town at top speed. But just over halfway down, he stopped by the old town wall. "Lo siento, I can no more go," he said. "Muchas gracias anyway," said Princess. "De nada," said the monkey, and scampered off back up the rock.
We'll never make it,
moaned Sad Sack. But Dotty had other ideas. She went up to a nearby seagull perched on the wall. "Excuse me, do you speak English?" "I am English," said the seagull. "What do you want?" "Oh," said Dotty, taken aback. "What are you doing here?"
I live here. Used to follow the Royal Navy everywhere, but I ended up here one day, liked it, stayed, end of story. What's your problem?"
Dotty explained how they had missed the boat.
"Oh, leave it to me," said the bird. "Oi, Miguel, Juan."
"Si, Senor Kevin," said a couple of Spanish seagulls. In no time at all, the Raggy Dolls were back on board the cruise ship, flown there by Kevin and his friends. The Raggy Dolls couldn't thank them enough.
"It's all right,"
Said Kevin.
"any time. Adios."
"Via con Dios," said Juan and Miguel. When the seagulls had flown away, the Raggy Dolls returned to their lifeboat. "What a day," said Princess. "I'm completely worn out. Aren't you?" There was no reply. All the others were fast asleep.